But I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And I see God working in this period of the 20th century.
These have been very chaotic nights.
In a way that men in some strange way are responding. Something is happening in our world. The masses of people are rising up, and wherever they are assembled today, whether they are in Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, Accra, Ghana, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, or Memphis, Tennessee, the cry is always the same: we want to be free.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers.
I feel like our message was heard by some at least, and it wasn't for nothing. When we pulled up and they immediately were ready for us, I thought, and I was 100% ready and willing to die right there for this
long
cause.
Enough. Now it is time for us to move on. That great and noble realm of justice and brotherhood. That is a great struggle taking place in our nation today. It isn't a struggle just based on a lot of noise. It is a struggle to save the soul of our nation. No nation can rise to its full moral maturity so long as it subjects a segment of its citizenry on the basis of race or color. Somehow we must come to see more than ever before that racial injustice is a cancer in the body politic which must be removed before our moral health can be realized. We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. The Negroes in Albany, Georgia, decided to straighten their backs up. And whenever men and women straighten their backs up, they are going somewhere, because a man can't ride your back unless it is bent. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been here in 1963. The black people of Birmingham, Alabama, aroused the conscience of this nation, brought into being the Civil Rights Bill. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have had a chance later that year in August to try to tell America about a dream that I had had. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been down in Selma, Alabama to see the great movement there. If I had sneezed. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. I believe it because somehow the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever.
In Bellevue, Washington, Police Chief Steve Miley ended demonstrating embracing.
Right.
Tonight, the police chief explaining the power of that moment, the power of listening.
I heard them, I felt them.
Nobody
I
can
think they
be
heard me. And I
totally
think they
rich.
heard my voice and my heart
We are all
and the heart
caught in an
of
inescapable
everybody that
network
stands
of
behind me.
mutuality.
It's dialogue like this that we learn
Tied
from
in a
each other.
single
We went to
bond
a U-Haul
of
van.
What if
Yeah.
there's one direct
Why is
that
it
affects all
anticipating tear gas?
indirectly?
Yeah.
Why did you come out here with these
Some
supplies?
strange
Because it's just necessary. Like our people on the front lines, marching, hungry. We tried to get water, we couldn't. You know, people were getting tear gas. Stores won't sell them milk, and it's just very important to me to just make sure everybody comes together. They're fed, they have milk, they have the essentials, and you know we can do it all together. Any way I can help.
Every man is
Personal pocket?
It did.
Personally paid for all these pieces, the milk, everything.
Everything, yeah.
What is it about the African American community
because
and
I
this
am
relationship of violence?
involved
It just
in
seems to be a
mankind.
never-ending story. I mean,
Therefore,
obviously, it
never
impacted you
sin to
personally on a
know
deep
for
level.
whom the
I
bell
think that
tolls.
it's all written into the history,
for
and
thee.
history repeats itself, and it's up to us
When
to
we
break and
see
change
this,
that cycle. You know, we're gonna
we
get
will
through this, and we're
move
gonna
out
get
of
through
the
this together.
mountain of
And
indifference
it's probably gonna be years
concerning
of fighting, but
poverty.
we're gonna get through, and we're gonna just do it as a unit.
And we showed you that line of law enforcement in Miami. And the moment
Like
it all
anybody,
changed,
I would like to
Highway
live
Patrol Captain Roger Reyes walking up
a
to this
long
woman,
life.
Rita Holmes,
Longevity
hugging her.
has
She
its
was
place.
grateful.
But I'm not concerned about that now.
Tonight, both the captain
I
and
just
Renita
want to do
know
God's
that that
will.
image has been seen by so many.
And He's
Grateful for
allowed
that,
me to
too.
go up to the
It was a
mountain.
moment of her pain
And I've
being
looked
embraced,
over.
and that was a
And I've
connection there, and it was
seen
special. And I
the
saw that it
promised
wasn't
land.
just one-sided, that she
I
was
may
caring
not
for
get
us
there with
as
you,
well as the
But I
protesters
want
out
you to
there.
know tonight
We had a wonderful
that we
opportunity
as a
to
people
show that love
will get
wins.
to the
'Cause if you
promised
look people in
land.
their eyes, you can see the hope.
Seeing the hurt and the hope that can come from the heart.
So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So if I'm not over here wilding out, if I'm not over here blowing up stuff, if I'm not over here messing up my
I
community,
was standing at the beginning of
What are y'all
time
doing?
with the possibility of taking
what are y'all
a
doing?
kind of general and
Y'all
panoramic
doing
view
nothing.
of the whole of human
Because that's
history
not
up to
going to bring my
now.
brother back at all.
And the Almighty
Let's do this another
said to
way.
me, Martin
Let's stop
Luther
thinking that our
King,
voice don't matter.
which aid
And
would you
vote.
like to
There you go.
Not just vote for the president, vote for the preliminaries,
mental
vote for
flight
everybody.
by evil. And I would watch God's children in their magnificent trek
Educate
from
yourself.
the dark dungeons of Egypt to
Educate
across the
yourself.
Red Sea, through the
Don't wait for
wilderness
somebody
on
else to
toward the
tell you
promised
who's
land.
who.
And in spite of its
Educate
magnificence,
yourself
I
and
wouldn't
know
stop
who you're
there.
voting
I would
for.
move on by Greece and take my mind
And
to
that's how we
Mount
gonna hit
Olympus.
them.
And I would see Plato,
Because it's a lot of us.
Socrates,
It's a lot
Euripides,
of
and
us.
Aristophanes assembled around the
It's a lot of
Parthenon.
us.
And I would watch them around the Parthenon as they discussed the great and eternal issues of reality, but I wouldn't stop there. I would go on even to the great heyday of the Roman Empire. And I would see developments around there through various emperors and leaders, but I wouldn't stop there. I would even come up to the day of the Renaissance and get a quick picture of all that the Renaissance did for the cultural and aesthetic life of man, but I wouldn't stop there. I would even go by the way that the man for whom I'm named had his habitat. And I would watch Martin Luther as he tacked his 95 Theses on the door at the church of Wittenberg, but I wouldn't stop there. I would come on up even to 1863 and watch a vacillating president by the name of Abraham Lincoln finally come to the conclusion that he had to sign the Emancipation Proclamation, but I wouldn't stop there. I would even come up to the early 30s and see a man grappling with the problems of the bankruptcy of his nation and come with an eloquent cry that we have nothing to fear but fear itself, but I wouldn't stop there. Strangely enough, I would turn to the Almighty and say, if you allow me to live just a few years in the second half of the 20th century, I will be happy. Now, that's a strange statement to make because the world is all messed up. The nation is sick. Trouble is in the land. Confusion all around. That's a strange statement. But I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And I see God working in this period of the 20th century in a way that men in some strange way are responding. Something is happening in our world. Some of us who have already begun to break the silence of the night have found that the calling to speak is often a vocation of agony. But we must speak. We must speak with all the humility that is appropriate to our limited vision. But we must speak. But I sometimes marvel at those who ask me why I am speaking against the war. Could it be that they do not know that the good news was meant for all men, for communists and capitalists, for their children and ours, for black and for white, for revolutionary and conservative? Have they forgotten that my ministry is in obedience to the one who loved his enemies so fully that he died for them? We must rapidly begin the shift from a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society, when machines and computers, profit motives and property rights are considered more important than people. The giant triplets of racism, extreme materialism, and militarism are incapable of being conquered.